Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter. Can you please find for me 2/7 of 49? Can you then work out what 360 over 2 take away 140 would be, and then find 20% of 200? Pause the video in your light blue books. Spend a couple of minutes working these out now. Okay, let's find 1/7 of 49 to start off with. How do I find 1/7 of 49, Dejan? I do 49 divided by 7, thank you, which gives me 7. But I don't want 1/7, I want 2/7. So Drew, what's 2/7 of 49 going to be? Great, 7 times 2, which gives me 14. My second question was 360 over 2 take away 140. Well, 360 divided by 2 gives me 180. 180 take away 140 gives me 40. And finally, I asked you to find 20% of 200. Well, 100% of 200 is just 200. To find 10%, I divide by 10, which gives me 20. So to find 20%, I just need 2 lots of 10%, which will give me what, Barbara? 40. Lovely, thank you very much. Okay, we're moving on to a new topic now. I want us to start off by looking at parallel lines. Have a look at these lines, and in your light blue books, can you tell me which of the following lines are parallel to line A? And if you manage that, can you find any other pairs of lines that are parallel? Pause the video, have a little think for me. Okay, let's go through the answers. First of all, what does parallel mean? Well, parallel means two lines on a plane or on a piece of paper that never meet. They're always the same distance apart and they have the same gradient. So for these lines, I would say that A and line D are parallel. They're the same gradient, the same steepness. And I can mark this as a little arrow. Another pair of lines that are parallel are B and E. And again, I can mark these with little arrows to say B and E are parallel with each other and A and D are parallel. Okay, Year 7, in your dark blue books, can you give me the title Parallel Lines? And underneath, can you write the sentence, parallel lines are two lines on a plane that never meet. They are always the same distance apart and have the same gradients. How do we label parallel lines? Well, we just went through this. We label parallel lines by putting little arrows on them. Can you please write your own example underneath that title? And finally, how about now? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that A and D are parallel, so we can put little arrows on them. But B and E are parallel as well, and we can put 2 arrows on them. 1 arrow means that D is not parallel to B because D's got 1 arrow and B's got 2 arrows. Only lines that have the same number of arrows are parallel to each other. Can you please make sure you've got these examples written in your dark blue book? Okay, Year 7, here's an equilateral triangle. Pause the video for a minute. In your light blue book, write down anything you know about an equilateral triangle. Pause the video for a minute and off you go. Okay, in your dark blue books, Year 7, can you write the title Line Lengths and Angles? Underneath, can you draw me an equilateral triangle? And what can you tell me about the lengths of the sides, Trenton? They're all going to be the same. How can I show it, Charlie? How can I show all these lines are the same length? I can draw little lines like so. And that tells me that all of these lines are the same length. What do we know about the angles, Poppy? The angles are all the same as well. And we can show this by marking them just like so. So this tells us all the angles and all the lines are the same. Okay, Year 7, pause the video. Here's a rectangle. In your light blue books, write down everything you might know about a rectangle. Pause the video for a minute, everything you know. Okay, in your dark blue books, can you now draw a rectangle? What can you tell me about the lengths of the sides? Well, I know in a rectangle that this side is equal to this side, and that this side is equal to this side. I know that this side here is not necessarily equal to the top side, so I mark the side on the left-hand side with 1 line and the top with 2 lines. So only sides with the same number of lines are the same length. What do we know about parallel lines? Are any of these lines parallel? Well, we know that this top line and this bottom line are parallel, and these side lines are parallel to each other. In your dark blue books, can you make sure you've got this diagram shown? We also know that the angles are all 90 degrees. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, can you please tell me which pairs of lines are the same length and which pairs of lines are parallel? Pause the video and have a think in your light blue books for me. Okay, Year 7, let's go through the answers. Well, we know that AB and DC both have 2 little lines in them. So that tells us that AB and CD are the same length. We also know that IJ and LK both have 1 little line going through them. So we know that those two are the same length. In terms of parallel lines, AB and EF both have 1 arrow on them, so they're parallel to each other. And GH and KL have 2 arrows on them, so we know they are both parallel. Okay, Year 7, can you please pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and have a go at correctly drawing an equilateral triangle, a rectangle and a parallelogram, labelling all the sides with angles, pairs of equal sides, using the nomenclature we've used so far in the lesson for me. Okay, and these are the answers you should have in your light blue books. So the equilateral triangle, we said it's got 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. Here is the rectangle, we said it's got 2 pairs of parallel sides, 2 pairs of lengths of sides that are the same length, and 4 right angles. And finally, your parallelogram should have looked like this. Okay, can you please give me the title labelling lines in your dark blue books? Underneath that, can you write the sentence, lines are given names showing where they start and finish. And when you've got that, pens down for me, Year 7, and eyes on the board. So Drew, what do I give the name to the green line shown in this diagram? We call it BC because it starts at B and ends at C. You could also call it CB. We tend to do it in alphabetical order, but it wouldn't matter either way. Barbara, what do we give the line AD? What do we call that? We can call it AD. What else can we call it, Barbara? We could call it DA. Both would be correct. Normally we put them in alphabetical order. Okay, Year 7, in your dark blue books, can you tell me what name do we give the green line and what name do we give the red line? Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work those out for me now. Okay, so the green line we're going to call CD, and the red line we're going to call AB. We could also call the red line BA, and we could call the green line DC, if we wished. So we can call angles using lowercase letters, and we've seen a lot of this, where we call this angle A, a little a, the angle at B we give a little b, and the angle at C we give a little c. The other way we can label angles is using this nomenclature. Nomenclature just means the way we write it. So I've got a triangle ABC, and I've been asked which angle is angle ABC. We look at A, that's where we start. We know we're going to go through B and up to C. So this angle here, going from A to B to C, we're going to call A, B, C. Over to you, Year 7. Which one is the angle CAB? In your dark blue books, can you work this out for me now? Pause the video, label it and show me. Okay, the answer I was looking for, we're starting at C this time, so here it is. We're going through A and ending up at B. So this angle here is angle CAB. We also need to be able to draw angles. I'm going to go through some examples and then you're going to go through some examples in your dark blue books. So watching for now. I need to draw the angle CDE as 63 degrees. I'm going to get my protractor out. I'm going to start off by drawing, this is C. I'm going to draw a horizontal line which shows me C to D. I'm then going to grab my protractor, put it on D, and I'm looking for an angle of 63 degrees. Let's measure that. Put a little mark where that ends. Take my protractor away. And complete my line. So this angle here, which is starting at C, going through D, ending up at E, is 63 degrees. Underneath I've got a slightly larger angle. I want STU to be 256. How am I going to do that? I'm going to start in the same way. I'm going to draw a horizontal line. This is S and this is T. This time I want 256 degrees, and I know that a straight line is 180. So I'm going to rotate my protractor. So I've got my 180 degrees. I'm going to add on that final 76. Which is going to take me to here. And then all I need to do is join up my line. And that angle that I've just made is 256 degrees. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, can you please show me an angle CDE of 163 degrees and an STU of 356 degrees? Pause the video and have a go at that now. Okay, let's go through the answers. So the first one, I start by drawing my horizontal line, and that's C to D. I then need to grab my protractor, put it on D, and I want 163 degrees this time. So here's 160, 163 is about here. I then need to join it up. Voila. And I've drawn an angle of 163 degrees. Underneath, I want to draw STU as being 356 degrees. So I start by drawing my horizontal line. There it is. This is S. This is T. Again, I want over 180, so I'm going to start by rotating my protractor. So I've already got that 180 of a straight line. I then want to add on the final part, which is going to be another 176 degrees, which is going to be here. So 356 degrees is going to look like this. Yours will probably be better because it's easier to draw it on a piece of paper than on a board. But there's my 356 degrees. Okay, Year 7, can you now pause the video and in your light blue books, can you draw the following angles? Start with the green, then move on to the amber, then move on to the red. If you're super confident, you can skip straight to the red. And then as an extension, can you draw the following shapes accurately for me using your protractor in your light blue books? Can you draw that now? Okay, Year 7. In your dark blue books, can you give me the title Types of Angle? And we're going to recap those types of angles. So first off, what do we call an angle that's less than 90 degrees for me, Lucy? We call it acute. Please copy this diagram and write acute for me. What do we call an angle that's exactly 90 degrees for me, Ben? A right angle. Brilliant. Jake, what do I call an angle that's between 90 and 180 degrees? Obtuse. Lovely. And finally, Jack, what do I call an angle that's more than 180 degrees, the biggest type of angle? Reflex. Excellent. Can you all make sure you've got these angles drawn in your dark blue books for me and labelled correctly? Okay, Year 7, dark blue books closed. Is 99 degrees acute, obtuse, reflex, right angle or a straight angle in your light blue books? Tell me now. Great, it's an obtuse angle. How about now? Right angle, 90 degrees is a right angle, lovely. How about now? 45 is an acute angle. How about now? 270 degrees is over 180, so that's going to be a reflex angle. How about now? 12 is less than 90, so we're looking at an acute angle. How about now? 300 is over 180, so that's a reflex angle. How about now? 180 degrees just means a straight line, so we call that a straight angle. Okay, Year 7, can you please pause the video for a couple of minutes and have a go at this question for me in your light blue books? Okay, let's go through the answers. X is a reflex angle because it's over 180. Y, I was looking for acute. And Z was an obtuse angle. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, pause the video for 3 minutes and have a go at these 3 questions for me. And these were the answers I was looking for. You should have got 2. Here they are, smaller than a right angle, this one and this one. 6 are larger than a right angle, here they are. And finally, trapezium, I was looking for just the one being larger than a right angle. And finally, in your light blue books, can you draw me the letter A, label it A, B, C, D, E, where all the points are, and can you label for me any acute angles, any obtuse angles, any reflex angles, and can you label each of those angles using the ABC notation we went through earlier this lesson? Pause the video for 5 minutes and have a go at that now for me. And here are the answers for you. Any blue ones are acute ones, so I've got BCD, BDC, DBC, ABD, EDB are obtuse angles, and the reflex angle is ACE, that big green one at the top. And that's the end of today's lesson, Year 7. Can you now please complete the exit ticket on Google Classroom for me? Thanks for listening and have a lovely day. Goodbye.